All right, guys. The Utah Jazz get another really nice win. This is the Utah Jazz post-game show on the Hoops Nerd channel. The Trailblazers always seem to have Utah's numbers, so a 30-point victory for the Utah Jazz is a surprise to me, especially with just how Damian Lillard, I mean, they even showed it on the Jazz broadcast during the game, how Damian Lillard scores like 39 points a game against the Jazz. I can't remember for how far back it was, but Damian Lillard is a Jazz killer of all Jazz killers. And the Jazz found a way to just be really, really efficient on the offensive end tonight. Donovan Mitchell's in like a shooting slump right now. It's just a fact. Like, for whatever reason, that shot's not falling. But I think there's a big difference between a bad shooting night and having just a bad night in general, because Donovan's doing things overall that are helping the team win. Tonight, he didn't shoot the ball well, like 1 for 9 or whatever it was, or 1 for 10 or whatever. It was bad. But he didn't hurt the team necessarily in terms of just his play. Rebounds the ball, passing, steals, all these things. Playing control. The shot will come for Donovan, but it's going to take time. He's a second-year player. I think we're just seeing a player that's having to develop and get better. The nice thing was that the rest of the team really played well tonight. Tonight they held Damian Lillard to 19 points. A lot of that was Dante Exum guarding him. Ricky Rubio did a pretty nice job guarding him. The Jazz just guarded Damian tonight pretty well. They said, you know what? Other guys are going to beat us. And they didn't. I'm just looking at the box score. Anyone else that really stood out? Honestly, the Jazz held Portland in check for the most part. And maybe Portland just had an off night. That tends to be what it is sometimes, is that the team you're playing against that you beat doesn't have a great night. But Damian Lillard, the Jazz did pretty well, although he was pretty efficient. So what that tells you is the Jazz were probably doing everything they could to keep the ball out of Damian Lillard's hands. Evan Turner actually scored some buckets for Portland tonight, and I guess the Jazz were probably saying something like, if Evan Turner beats us, he beats us. For Utah, big-time games from Ricky Rubio in the second half. Dante Exum was incredible off the bench, and in the first half, actually, Ricky got pulled at one point to put Donovan back in to end the half. Jake Crowder was nice. Joe Ingles was nice, and Kyle Korver had smoke coming off his fingers. That second half, Ricky Rubio was shooting flames. He had fire out of his eyes. He had flames on his fingers, and Korver was just like throwing daggers like Legolas, or maybe like Kyle Korver, but in NBA Jam with the hotspot. That's what it was tonight. Incredible shooting. And on top of that, just the defense, like we talked about. Really, really good. Rudy Gobert, you're not going to see a lot of people talk about his night tonight. 11 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. He is so dominant. He dominates every aspect of the floor. Like, that offense goes well because Rudy Gobert screens well. Derek Favors quietly had a really nice game too, just defensively rebounding the ball, finishing at the rim, just doing nice things, hit a nice little jumper. Everyone on the Jazz just did really well. And the one thing I'm also really enjoying is that it feels like everything's kind of fallen into its rightful place. Ricky Rubio starts, Donovan Mitchell shooting guard, Joe Ingles, Derek Favors, Jay Crowder. We're still going to see a juggling act with Quinn. I still think that they should just start Jay Crowder. But maybe if starting Derek Favors keeps him more engaged, then fine. But either way, I like that the second unit has kind of fallen into place. Dante's had 3 really nice games in a row, and that just helps the Jazz win. If Ricky Rubio's shooting like he did tonight, and Dante's guarding like he did tonight, and Joe is just hitting shots and playmaking, and then you've got, I mean, it's just the Jazz are really, really good. Imagine when Donovan Mitchell's shot starts falling. I mean, then the Jazz become like, holy crap. So, nice night from the Jazz. Overall, just great team effort. The things are falling into place, guys. The defense is legit. And we can look at the defensive numbers. I don't have time to go look it up, but I bet you that defensive rating was A-okay tonight. Big time win for the Utah Jazz. They've got to keep this going because they're not in the playoff picture yet. They're still below 500, but I think only one game now. And they can go back and beat the Thunder. It's time for the Jazz to keep it up. And it's time for you guys to like and subscribe this channel. Like and subscribe it. Do it. comment, say nice things or mean things. New Year's resolution for me is not to get caught up with the trolls tonight. But for those of you who said bad things about Dante, go to your room. Talk to you later.